Hello, this is Delilah 5604631 presenting her FIN323 final. Question 1 on the phrase beta is dead as well as the criticism of asset pricing model and their misspecifications. To begin with, the CAPM displays the relationship between the return of the investment and a systematic risk. The APT model adds to this, which also talks about the macroeconomic risk variables. The pharma and French model is a trifactor model considering the firm's size, book to market equity ratio, and other price ratios. The Cahart four-factor model is a development of the FNF model, which also adds the monthly momentum factor. The five-factor model is an upgraded model of the trifactor model, which also adds profitability and investment. Next, discussing the common shared criticism, which are the factors don't explain fully the returns. The beta is determined by a proxy and found to be statistically not different from zero. However, the lack of market portfolio proxy and perhaps chance is no grounds to dismiss the model. Next, we consider the pandemic as a factor of pricing models. Sentiment, information, opinions show positive relationship to returns of financial assets. The impact of COVID-19 can be estimated by the observed unexplained returns of the residual of the country's returns on the MSCI Global Index, according to a recent study. The MSCI Global Index is a gauge for the fluctuation in global risk factors. On your screen are the references for question 1. Question 2 focuses on passive portfolio management strategies and how to select an ETF. Passive portfolio management strategies, unlike active portfolio management strategies, do not enact actively on potential opportunities with best return. They intend instead to outsmart the market, or at least mirror the performance of an industry, market, or an index, which is the main objective for this strategy. 3 passive management strategies are discussed. First, buy and hold strategy, which involves buying and holding a security for a long period disregarding the short-term effects. This effect gives the best tax benefit. Index fund replicates the target index closely and does not involve heavy monitoring. ETF similar to the previous in terms of mirroring an index. However, it is listed, therefore it can be actively traded on stock exchanges. The report discusses 2 approaches to ETFs. The first is straightforward matching or direct replication, which involves imitating the index to the direct proportion in which the assets are invested in. The second involves optimization or sampling approach. This is useful where it's unfeasible to apply the first, as in the index is too complex or it's too vast. Certain factors must be kept in mind to select ETF, which include the nature and industry of securities, which may affect the risk and return, the bid and ask spread, which provide insight into how the fund is performing and basically how it's performing in the market. The expense ratio is a good aspect on which ETFs can be directly compared, and as they directly compete on terms of this aspect. The tax issues, which are of 2 types, capital gain tax and tax effects that may arise at the closure of the fund. These 2 must be considered in terms of which type of ETF we would choose. Another factor would be the fund closure risk due to regulations, competitions, or any other factors that may affect the fund from continuing. Another factor to consider while selecting ETF is the fund management competency, which provides an insight into how efficient the fund would do and continue to do in the future, as the fund manager is primarily responsible for the fund. This can be done by by determining first the intraday net asset value and comparing it to the daily value of the ETF. Provided on screen are the references for question 2. Question 3, not attempted on the short-term effects of COVID-19 on stock markets. Question 4 is a reflective essay on the forex trading simulation and implications for the portfolio analysis. The last question discusses the reflection based on the simulation conducted on the 13th April, supervised by Dr. Vikas Ramia. We were assigned to be ABN AMRO, which is a Dutch bank intended to be a price maker, making a profit, and end the day at a square position, and as well as speculate with the amount provided to us, which was 400 million AUD. The objectives and the limitation as well as the prompt were clearly defined. However, there was an issue in terms of the phrase hit at the right, which was included in the new prompt, which puzzled us. These are the six main ways in which we prepared for the simulation. First was determining communication, which would be an issue since due to the pandemic, personal face-to-face communication was disallowed. Another thing was the trade sheets and the rate sheets, which would allow us to not only give effective and profitable and effective rates, as well as allow us to keep track of our deals. We also had to formulate strategies based on market research and objectives provided to us in the prompt. Preparation did not prepare us entirely for the intensity of the market. However, we were able to deal with most of the situations aptly. We had also researched and discussed key events that may influence the announcements and the uh, events that may transpire during the simulation. However, we realized soon that due to the market unexpectancy, we were unable to prepare completely. The announcement met expectations, therefore, but however, most of them were missed out on because we were on call. Familiarizing myself with the sheets as well as the rates and how forex trading should be conducted allowed myself to prevent from being duped by other negotiating parties, where we had certain instances where certain uh, negotiating parties try to convince